We live in a world of not what we want it to be, what it could be, what it should be, what somebody else thinks we should be, but we live in a world that is what it is, see? But we can change it to what it could be. The law of circulation. If you plant the little seeds of what you want and you're constantly talking about it and you're constantly doing it, it will pick up momentum like a tire going around faster and faster and faster and faster, and you'll groove a new algorithm. But the tire has now stopped. I have broken all momentum. The old you, the old version of you that maybe isn't going where you want to go or doing it fast enough or big enough or rewarding enough, I have just stopped your tire. That's a good thing because I'm going to give you the tool on what to do to put it back in motion. But when you put it back in motion, you're going to put it in motion with intention. And law of intentionality is a law. And the way you manifest the things you want in your life is first you decide what you want, and then you work backwards to the present moment, which is what I'm going to talk about. So first and foremost, you have to be honest about the past. If it's not working for you, then instead of looking externally down on yourself, just identify. Now, the past, you've separated yourself out, so you're not emotionally connecting to the past. You're just identifying it. Maybe you're not good with communicating with people. Maybe you're not patient. Maybe you haven't worked on your leadership skills. Maybe you haven't been honing in your communication and precision in your communication skills and studying Card on You every day and becoming an expert communicator. Maybe these are the things in the past. Now, I don't want you to judge these things. I don't want you to relive them. Oh, I'm so sad I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm asking you to do. You're outside of it now. You're just isolating and identifying those things in the past that you did or didn't do or you avoided. Maybe you're scared of public speaking, or maybe you're afraid of the telephone and making an outbound call. That's not you. So you're looking down on the physical person, but you're looking up here, not judging it, just identifying what is a weakness and also what is a strength, because it's important you know what your strengths are. Now, in present time, you're going to come to present time and you're going to go, okay, what things can I take my weaknesses? And I know this is how it works because this is exactly what I had to do. I'm just telling you how I changed me to get who I have become. So this isn't a judgment. I'm not a professor. I didn't go to college. I'm just telling you how I changed my life. And I'm telling you how I've worked with thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people to get them to change their life too. In the present time, if I want a different future, I got to change what I'm doing today. But see, everyone does this backwards. You can identify those past, that's not who you are today. You're looking down at who you are right now. You're on this call with me. You're present moment. You're right here listening to me. And up here is the non-emotional perspective of what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths, what are the things pulling you off target. There's no judgment, there's no emotion attached. It just is what it is, because we live in a world of not what we want it to be, what it could be, what it should be, what somebody else thinks we should be, but we live in a world that is what it is, see? But we can change it to what it could be. How do you do that? Well, once you're in the past identifying what are the things I'm not doing, I'm not working out every day, I'm not taking my 10X supplements, I'm not paying attention to my health, I'm not making the money I could, I'm not making the outbound calls, I'm not doing the training, I'm not being a good parent, I'm not being a good boss, I'm not being a good business owner. Boom, 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 you're just being honest with yourself because there's no judgment or emotion. You're just like, screw it, I'll just say the truth. Now what I want you to do is I want you to go out to the future. I want you to go, okay, no judgment, no emotion in the past, no big deal. I want you to go to the future, and I want you to start writing down. When you have some downtime, take 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it doesn't matter. I do this every single day. I've now started doing it in my red light bed, or I do it on the airplane when I'm traveling. I find that moment. It could be, and I can get lost in this now because I've become an expert at it, but it could be 10 minutes, it could be a half hour, it could be 5 hours. But what I want you to do is go out to the future. Okay, let's pick 10 years out now. I want you to see yourself on a cover of whatever you love. If it's I'm a business guy, so Inc. magazine, Forbes, Fast Company, Wired. For me, this way, I'd go out 10 years, I'd see my picture on that cover, and I'd read what they were saying about me. The guy that innovated the small business space. Noah, the guy that led millions of entrepreneurs to the promised land by putting them on an ark. Whatever, play with it. And I see a picture, and eventually that picture morphed. It wasn't me on the cover because one of my mentors built a huge business. And I remember he was on the front cover of Inc. magazine, and it was him with like 25 of his executives, all in power position, how they changed the world. And I thought, that's more interesting than just me. Look at all the people I'm doing it with. And my picture evolved over time to me with a group of people, how we changed the world. And I had these pictures, these mental pictures, and then when I'd come out of that, I would take notes and I'd say, okay, what were they writing about me? How I innovated the small business space, how I impacted millions and millions, tens of millions of people between entrepreneurs and their employees by helping them hit their personal, professional, and financial goal. How I brought so much net worth and value. I created more millionaires, multimillionaires, and billionaires than anyone else has documented that they've created on this planet, because I have been committed to changing lives. And see, this is 10 years from now. It's what they're writing about me, and I'm writing what they're writing. I'm seeing it, I'm writing it, I'm living in it. And then the next day I pick it up and I see it again, and I'm back to changing the world and adding to it and recreating the story and reinventing the story and what my skills were, what my expertises were, and how I came from nothing and created the biggest movement on the planet for business owners to legitimize small business owners and give them the tools and the resources necessary to create value in their life and impact millions of lives, tens of millions of lives all over the world, known as the person who invented success in small business. This is what they were writing about me. And I started getting more into the details of the storyline. I wrote my own little book about who I was in 10 years. One of those I wrote, I used to be a hothead. I used to get mad. I used to get angry at people. Why you let me down? Why didn't you do your job? Pissed off. One of the things they wrote about me is I was the coolest cat in the room. I was unshakable. Bullets are flying at me. People are staring at bankruptcy and devastation, and I walk into the fire and I grab them all and walk out with them. Nothing could shake me, because that's how I wanted to be seen. Now, I'll tell you, this is important because I defined myself in 10 years. In 2004, 2003, 2004, I defined me in 10 years, 2014 and 15. Built the highest valued business system on the planet, commanded the highest values, changed people's lives, reinvented the small business space. That's what they were writing about me. I had picked that in 2004 and 5, became a remarkable leader, had millions of followers. Yes, I was successful. Yes, I also became wealthy, but that wasn't the purpose. The purpose was changing lives personally, professionally, financially. Now, what happens when you come out of that state is you have to bring it back to the present moment and say, okay, what person do I need to be right now to be what they wrote about me in 10 years? And what happens, interestingly enough, is somebody would come in my office and immediately piss me off in the present moment, and I'd feel the blood to start boiling. I remind myself, what did they write about me 10 years ago? In 10 years. I was the coolest cat in the room. I was unshakable. So in that moment, I had my own checks and balances. I'd ask myself, well, maybe this is the moment they're writing about. Maybe this was the start of that. So I'm going to be different. I'm going to be who I'm going to be in 10 years, not who I am today. Because I recognize that nothing in my past matters. The only thing that matters is now and what I do moving forward. But if I don't know where I'm moving to, I don't know what I want to be known for, I don't know what I want to be successful at, I'm lost and I'm just meandering around blaming the world for it, I'll never get to anywhere.